All right. Well, I'm going to take this cold open this time. Emily's had the past, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And I think it's my time to shine.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm not going to lie. This isn't as funny as Emily's have been. But
funny in its own right.
Funny. Well, I guess. Basically, I decided last night at like 1 a.m. that I was going to re-download Hinge and redo my whole like account. Because I was like, listen. My girl is going to be in Cabo this week, fucking living it up. I'm going to be alone. Not that I don't have other friends, but like, what do I do with my time when we're not podcasting?
I mean, every time that you're gone and I'm faced with the same situation, I find myself in a deep spiraling depression. So.
Yeah, literally. I was like, if Emily's not here, I don't know what to do because literally we're always together all weekend from Friday after work till literally Sunday at like 10:30 at night, like literally always together. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I was like, I'm gonna re-download the apps, get some free dinners this weekend.
Fuck yeah. And
see what happens. And honestly, like the whole goal is just to get dick. That's it.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, it's damn near hot girl summer, so get on it.
I mean, yeah. And I've been working on hot girl summer for a full year now. Like, so
you're prepped and ready to go.
I'm ready to go. I just need some self tanner and then I think we're in that bitch. But yeah, I mean, wish me luck because it's been a minute since I've tried to go on a date. So.
Insert laugh track. I mean, no. Fuck. Insert audience clapping. Let's go. Go, Kellen. Back on the apps.
Back on the apps. It's really a depressing place to be. There's not a lot of,
interesting enough, I have actually deleted them recently because I was on it for like 2 years running, seeing the same fucking hoes. And then it's like you get through all of these matches or whatever, and then you realize like that's it. So then you have to do that awkward backtrack where you go back through all of them and you're like, no, still not it.
Still, Rick, you still aren't doing it for me.
Yeah.
Like, sorry about it, but it's a no for me, buddy. Yeah, so that's the thing. I feel like I was telling you, like I don't really like dating apps a whole lot regardless. But I'm at this point where like this is the time now that I've re-downloaded it. I'm like, it's just for dick. This is strictly just for sex.
Right.
Like,
there's no expectations.
I don't care to go on a date. I mean, like maybe honestly, like loosen up a little bit.
The
but
most fun thing about it is when you have no expectations.
Oh yeah,
if you go into it having expectations like, oh, I want to find somebody I want to date, like you never will. But like if you kind of go into it like, fuck it, like who knows? Maybe shit will happen.
That's true because like I don't really like care what happens.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not trying to like marry someone off this dating app.
When there's no expectations, you can't get let down.
Exactly. So
unless they have a small penis.
Well,
or a crooked one.
Well,
or ED.
Especially if they're crooked in the wrong direction.
Crooked, wrong direction, small and erectile dysfunction.
Or just selfish.
Or gonorrhea.
I mean, there's a lot of bad things that could happen, but we're going to focus on the good, okay? So, while you will be lounging around in Cabo, I'm going to be trying to slut it up here in Nashville.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I'm going to send all of the dating app vibes your way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Maybe I can share some of my best contacts info with you.
You're like, I'm going to save you some time. Here you go.
I've been running that app for years. I'll save you some time, girl.
Wow, amazing. Welcome back to another episode of Society 97. I'm Kellen.
And I'm Emily. And this week we are talking about something a little bit more scientific than I think that we've ever even thought of.
Science.
We're talking about science. So this is not Bill Nye. This is actually Society 97. And this week we're talking about subconscious things that men and women do, specifically in like dating, relationship type of scenarios that we don't even realize that we're doing.
Yeah. So it's definitely like the signs to look out for if you're like really, really, really trying to like get somebody and like you don't know where they're at based off of like verbal communication.
Right.
This is like maybe something that you can look at that they're doing that they don't even know.
Yeah. That would let you know like they're interested in.
Yeah. So to start off, we broke this into categories.
Yeah.
So we started with preening gestures, which is kind of like the before,
like the things that you do before the date even happens to kind of like prep for it.
And then it goes into facial expressions, which could happen at any time, honestly, not even a date, no date. And then we have body signals, and then at the end it's just kind of some like general stuff that we saw that just like didn't really fit into a category, but like might be good to know. You never know. So to start off with preening gestures, this is described as almost like bird-like from both sides.
Yeah, it's like, so what we were reading is like birds, I guess, before they go, this is getting hella Nat Geo right here, but I guess before they go and like mate with one another, they like will be like plucking their feathers, like brushing everything down, making sure that they look fly as shit to get all
pun intended, baby.
Oh, goddamn. I'm hitting it with the zingers today to make sure that they are like the top tier puss out there. And so we found that like men and women kind of do the same shit before.
Yes. Yeah. So from male's perspective, this is legitimately called peacocking. Like they are literally like ruffling their feathers, like the best looking one in the bunch. Like, you know, they're trying to make sure that they stand out. Yeah. And that kind of comes from like they're fixing their socks a lot, or like they're stroking their tie. I feel like you're really like something like nice, especially like if you've ever been to prom.
Yes.
You know those boys, they cannot stop like fixing their suit coat, their ties, their bow tie, their
like,
cufflinks.
Yeah, messing with shit. Like if you ever notice a guy, like you're on a date with him and he's constantly like adjusting his clothes or whatever, just know that it's like, it's not because he's like self-conscious.
Or even nervous. Yeah, it's not even that.
It's like he wants to make sure that he's looking like as best as possible for you because he's trying to impress you.
Yeah.
Not that
100%.
he's like nervous really.
And we basically found that the reason he would play with like buttons or this part, like parts of his clothing is basically it's like his unconscious desire to remove your clothing, essentially, and his own like he kind of just like always wants to be looking his Sunday's best is like kind of what we were finding for preening gestures for males. For females though,
is kind of more like straightforward. I mean, it's the, you know, most people are gonna like shave their whole bodies, we're gonna, you know, shower, wash our hair, blow dry it, curl it, straighten it, whatever, put our makeup on, like do everything that we can to look our version of like our best, I guess.
Yeah, we want to be like a 10 in our eyes when we leave to go on a date. Like, I mean, we want to look hot, we want to look sexy, we want to look pretty, beautiful, like you name it, we want to feel it.
Right.
So that's kind of what we're doing. And like one thing that's like, I guess you could notice as a male kind of looking at a female is if they're constantly like looking in a mirror, or like if you're walking past a building and it's reflective and like you stare at yourself, which like my narcissistic ass be doing that regardless.
Bro, I do that. But especially on dates, like I actually like a few weeks ago went to there's like it's technically called a speakeasy, but it's literally just a bar in Edge Hill, and it's called Old Glory. But in one part of the bar, there's like seats that face a mirror. So I was having a whole ass date the entire time staring directly at myself. You know how hard that shit was to not just constantly being like, looking to make sure that like there wasn't shit in my teeth, my lipstick looked good. Like, like I'm starting to get like, you know, this was also pre my Botox. So I was like, oh, my forehead wrinkles are showing. I need to go to the bathroom and fix that shit. Like, if you're constantly catching yourself looking at a mirror, it's probably a good sign that you care about what this person thinks about you. Oh, regardless of if you think you do or not.
I mean, yeah. And like for us, like we're always trying to like put on like chapstick or lipstick or like it's just anything of like an appearance that like we feel that this makes us look good.
Right. Exactly.
And honestly, I feel like most guys kind of get annoyed by that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cause I feel like to other people, it can seem like we are doing it just for us, but it's like actually we're doing it for you.
Yeah, exactly. And like even to go out for the night, like if we're not even trying to go out and get men, we're just going out to the bars, like we want to look our best also to like make sure that other girls know like we're the hottest bitches in the bar. So like it's really like you are doing all these things to impress other people at the end of the day. Even though like here at Society 97 we like to say do things for yourself.
Right.
Literally what we found is like subconsciously you are always trying to appease others through your looks.
Yeah, especially women. Yeah, definitely.
So the next topic we're going to talk about is facial expressions. And to kind of start off facial expressions, we have like the gaze, right? There's like two different types of gazes that can happen. Right. So you're going to have like more like intimate gaze versus a friendly gaze.
Right.
And like what we were kind of finding is like a friendly gaze, especially in the US, is like just a sign of respect. Yeah. So just because someone's looking at you doesn't necessarily mean yet.
Yeah. Especially like here in the US, like you're taught at a very young age that like eye contact is very important. So what we found with the friendly gaze is like, it's a form of eye contact, but it really doesn't leave that like I feel like in beauty we call it like our T-zone, but it's like the eyes and the nose area. Like you're not gonna really like vary your eye contact to any other spot of their body. Like if I'm if I'm talking to my girlfriends, I'm not like looking at her shoulders and her like chest area or like her like jawline. My eyes are predominantly either
we're literally right now we are dead ass staring at each other's eyes. Or it's like your nose, lip area.
Yeah, literally. Like I'm not leaving that.
I'm not like
area.
checking out your tits, nothing like that. But like we're on the flip side for like an intimate gaze. You're gonna start with that friendly gaze, right? You're gonna be like looking at the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and it starts to like just kind of drop towards your chest.
Yeah,
and if not lower, depending on what you're into, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
but it's so funny because when we were looking this up, we found that like, or not, we didn't even find this. We just realized this. It's like, guys often will seem like they're looking at your boobs, but it's like, it's not even that they're looking at your boobs, but it's like subconsciously they're doing it. It's not even like they're like trying to check your boobs out. It's like it's taking it beyond this friendly gaze to something more intimate because it's like a sign of attraction.
Yes.
So it's like, if a guy is only making eye contact with you, sis, he doesn't like you. Like,
no, you're friends.
You're not attractive to him, and that's fine. But if his eyes are wandering from like your eyes to your chest area to the floor, it's because he's looking you up and down.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the most common like pattern that we found was like, you know, from head to toe, basically, is like how you'd look. But I mean, like, even if he's kind of like looking all over, I feel like, you know, that can maybe be something too, because it doesn't have to definitely be in that pattern. But if he's just holding eye contact, bitch, you ain't it.
This might as well be a fucking business interview.
We are friends.
Point. Yeah.
You have been friend zoned by his eyes. Yes.
So we'll talk about this a little bit later when we get into like more touching stuff. But eye contact releases this chemical, or it's a hormone technically, correct?
Yes, yeah.
And it's called oxytocin. But essentially, this is like a bonding hormone. So what it does is it will deepen your connection you have with somebody. So this happens when you're doing this friendly gaze, but especially so when it becomes intimate, because it's releasing like more amount of that hormone, which is telling your brain like, okay, I want to fuck you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
or yeah, like there doesn't even fucking, like, just there's like a sexual attraction more than like a friendship there.
Right, definitely.
But let's go into specific things that males do with their facial expressions.
Yeah.
So for starters, smiling.
And this one sounds silly, but like when we really got into it yesterday, we realized that men, in terms of like outwardly expressing emotion, do not do that as much as women. And so like when they do smile, it's a lot more genuine. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
yeah,
you can kind of trust that more than when a woman smiles, because we as women have been taught for a long time, like, just smile. You know what I mean?
We'll definitely get into that later for women, but like
when it
for
comes
men,
from a guy,
like if they're actually smiling at you when they're talking to you, when you're in a conversation and they're engaging and they're smiling, like that's a good sign. Because they won't just do that to any person.
Right.
Like,
because they haven't, their whole life, they haven't had to do that. So like when they are smiling, like it kind of means something.
It does mean something. If he like sees you from across the room and he smiles at you, like it's not just like a hey, it's like, you know, like, there's something, it doesn't mean like he wants to necessarily fuck you right then and there, like, but like.
Yeah. And we're not talking like the white person, like,
man,
you know what I mean? Like the closed lip, like head nod thing. This is like full on like mouth open smile is kind of what we're talking about.
So to go from that kind of back to like the eye, like gaze type, you know, basically the larger their pupils get, the more interested he is.
Yeah, which is something that like, honestly, I don't think I would ever notice talking to somebody, even with making like intense eye contact. I don't think I'm ever like looking into their fucking pupils.
Not that in depth. And like, okay, but also if this motherfucker has brown eyes, how are you gonna tell?
No offense, I was sitting right here across from you. I'm like, I can't even see your pupils.
No, me either. I was like, but you also have a hat on, so I was like, maybe that's
but my eyes are dark as fuck.
Mine too.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe if you have like lighter eyes, it could be a little more obvious. So.
If you're with a blue-eyed baddie, look out for that shit. But if you're with a brown-eyed queen, good fucking luck.
You won't be able to tell the difference. Yeah. So if a guy is like attracted to you and he looks at you, he's gonna kind of like look at your boobs, maybe your butt, your lower stomach, your feet, and kind of back up, like literally a whole like check you.
Yeah,
out.
He's gonna give you like the one over to like, I don't know, like double take, like, okay, yeah. Like I'm fucking with like your vibe and like your appearance.
Another thing we also saw too was like, okay, so he might have been like looking at you, right? And then all of a sudden he's like kind of like looking at the ground. Like you might have just caught him checking you out.
Yeah. And it's not like he's like looking at the floor like to ignore you. It's because he's genuinely like looking you over. Like that's what he's doing.
So to move away from the eyes, if he slightly opens his lips.
Yeah, so this is like a weird thing. So like we talked about like the open mouth smile is like a sign like they like you, but this is not even a smile. It's like if you're like, let's say you're talking right now and I'm the guy and I'm just staring at you and I'm kind of like that.
Weird.
Like that. But it's so true. Like if
it is so true, but to me I'm like, okay, he's not interested. Like why he just fucking do that with his mouth?
But it's because he's almost like causing you to pay attention to his lips because it's like he wants to kiss you.
Yeah. So he like he's like focusing your attention to where what he is wanting to do to you. Whether he even knows it or not.
No, and that's the thing. Like they don't. Like we as people don't realize we're doing these things, but it's just like instinctual. Like
as we were doing this yesterday, the amount of times we were like, ew, like so cringy. Like
we
this
got the ick from like
ourselves.
Own behavior.
We're like, ew, I've done that,
bro.
So this is okay. The next thing for guys is like literally what sparked up this entire episode. Yeah, because this is something I saw a while ago, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And basically, if a guy is flaring his nostrils. Okay, and that sounds really fucking weird.
It sounds extremely like primal. Like it's making me think of like banging your chest, like caveman shit.
Right, but like so that's one thing is like a guy typically, and like I think females do it too, but I think it's more instinctual for men to do this. Basically if they're flaring their nostrils, it can be that they're like mad at you, like it's to kind of cause a fight, like you know, like doesn't always mean a good thing.
Right.
But actually, if it's like a very like sexual moment or you guys are just kind of like you're having a moment or it's like one-on-one or whatever and he's flaring his nostrils, he's actually trying to like get a whiff of your pheromones.
He'd be smelling that shit and, like, hard as fuck.
That shit, like for men to like smell your pheromones is actually kind of like turns it more from like a lust to a love type deal. Right. So like that's pretty serious. So be looking out for those
I'm like practicing.
I was like, bitch, are you trying to get mine right now? Like, what the fuck?
I'm trying to smell my own, see what I'm working with. Actually, funny, nothing to do with pheromones, but to do with scent. The other day, I Amazon Primed my groceries like I always do because I hate the grocery store. And I ordered a deodorant, but I accidentally got the unscented kind. So now whenever I wear deodorant, it smells like nothing. Ew. And I hate it, but I kind of fuck with it too. Because then I just smell like whatever spray I put on. Instead of like weird smell, another weird smell, another smell. It's just like one smell now. But it smells like honestly kind of smells like rubbing alcohol.
But I seriously feel like I'd be like completely self-conscious the entire time.
At first, I thought I may have had COVID because I put it on and I smelled it. I was like, I can't smell anything.
Oh, damn.
And then I went and looked at the label. It said unscented. I was like, makes sense.
Makes sense now.
We're good.
Well, actually, speaking of that, we're going to get to armpits later.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get there, let's move on to female facial expressions. So for females, we're a lot more self-explanatory, I would say, on this than men.
Definitely.
So our entire thing is eyes and lips.
Yeah, and also it's all stereotypical things that people are already aware that we're doing.
Yes.
Because it's like so I feel like in media and especially like cartoons and stuff that will like highlight these kinds of behaviors. And so now I feel like when we do it, we're more aware that we're doing it.
So this kind of brings up to Emily's point earlier where she was talking about us like smiling, and that's how something that we've always learned as little girls is like you do as like being the nice good little girl you are,
you'll get your way.
Yeah, like smile to them. Yeah, either if you're trying to get your way or it's like, oh, be nice, like be polite, you gotta smile. Like, you know, boys aren't really, it's like, oh, he's just running around, he'll be fine. Like, no, I always had to come over and say hello and like smile at the person and whatever.
Exactly.
So smiling to a guy essentially equals flirting because that's what they do. Right. But for us, it's really just like
part of life,
being polite. Right. But to like the guy, that's like a reward that they got you to smile.
Right.
So it's not like they think that they achieved something by seeing you smile. Like, bitch, if I had $1 for every time I smiled, I'd be a millionaire. Billionaire, actually.
I would literally probably own the fucking earth. How much the earth costs? I could buy it. Like, literally.
Okay, Kanye. Calm down.
No, but seriously, so like, if you aren't vibing with a guy, stop faking laughing at his jokes and stop faking smiling, because in his head, because when guys smile, that means a lot to them. So they think it means a lot to us. So stop faking that shit, girl. If you don't like it, get the fuck out and stop smiling.
Honestly, and I'm someone who like it just naturally happens.
Me too. Like I'm like,
yeah, because like uncomfortable. Any situation, I smile. Like
because that's how we've been taught. But guys are not taught like that. They're just kind of taught to be like.
Right. So boys, basically what we're saying is it's harder for you to know if
don't
a girl
trust
is
a bitch's
flirting
smile.
with you off a smile. Don't be taking it because that's how you be giving it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So the next thing we have is a fluttering eyes.
Oh God. This shit is so cringe.
This is where we said
this shit is duro. Because we be doing the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. So basically, like fluttering your eyes and like when you're talking to them, you're kind of just like, like, I don't know. You're trying to be like, cute, I guess.
Right.
I guess that's the only thing I can like come up with because like, bitch, why am I doing that?
It's like the whole idea of like batting your eyelashes.
Right. But you know where this also goes into is like a little bit of like a head tilt. Like we like tilt like our head down with like the eyes up, kind of like.
It's almost like the, I think it's called like the doe eye or whatever. And it's like when you want to look like sweet and innocent and you like dip your head and like look up at them and like start fluttering your eyelid or like your eyelashes. It's like. The like, sad part is like I know I do this shit.
Oh, I know.
But if I were to see somebody else doing it, I literally would puke.
Well, I really don't have to. I don't have to put my head down and tilt up because I'd be like in short kings. I can just look at them straight on.
You said I'd be looking down on them.
I'd be fluttering down.
Yeah, that would be intimidating as fuck. Can you imagine?
No, I literally cannot imagine.
Yeah, so this just kind of the eyes, the looking, and all the stuff, and the fluttering eyelashes kind of just goes into this other thing of like we quickly blink, which is like
essentially is like fluttering your eyes.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. But I've definitely caught myself when I'm attracted to somebody, like finding myself, I blink a lot more.
I mean, even like what we were finding is that you're kind of even more sexually aroused if you're blinking a lot towards that person. Or they're like telling a story and you're finding it like funny or cool or entertaining. Like that's how like a woman shows that they're engaged, I guess. Right. Which we'll get into a lot more with body signals later. Yeah. But yeah, like one thing, I guess, one thing guys can look out for is faster blinking. Yeah.
I'm not coked out.
She don't got something in her eye. Yeah. She's not coked out.
There's nothing in my eye and I didn't just snort a line. I'm just actually really fucking horny for you right now.
I mean, take it for what it's worth, bitch.
Yeah. Okay, and then our eyes dilate as well. Same as men. Our eyes be dilating when we're wanting that D.
Yes. All right. So on to body signals. We have a decent amount of just general body signals that kind of go back and forth, and then we'll differentiate at the end again. Yeah. So the first thing is if this person is 0 to 18 inches away from you, they find you more sexually attractive.
Yeah. And so what I was reading a lot with this, so for men, they like to like take up a lot of space when they're like sitting or standing. Like they're never going to be in like a closed off kind of pose, which for women is the exact opposite. Like we want to take up as least amount of room as possible. You all know the first time you've ever been into a guy's bedroom, you sit on the very, 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 very edge of their bed, crossing your legs, hands on your laps, like, oh, and then he's like, get comfortable. You're like, oh, I'm so comfy right here. Yeah. Like, no, you're not.
You're like about to like fall off that bitch.
But guys like to take up space. So if they're sitting within this close of you, like that
standing, sitting,
that means a lot, because traditionally like they like to spread out, they like to have their own space and do that. So like if they are that close to you, like take that as a sign like they're vibing, they are attracted to you.
Yeah, because I mean in general too though, if you aren't vibing with anybody, I'm not getting close to you.
Exactly.
I mean, there are people out there that don't know personal space, but like for the vast majority of humans, you understand personal space. Definitely. So it's like if they will get into that bubble per se, like they are like they're at least comfortable with you. Yeah. Let's put it that way. They're at least comfortable to be around you.
For sure. The next thing was really interesting and I feel like very true. So it's about like the approach. So this is essentially like if you're out, the best thing I can think of is a bar. I don't really know where else a guy would just come up and approach you at. Like,
yeah, in this fashion, 100%. It's like a bar or like a party or like a wedding maybe.
So anywhere where there's like other people around.
Very social type environment.
Yeah, but essentially, so like if a man is attracted to you and you're a woman, in order for you to like take their approach seriously or like it, he needs to come from a direction where you can see him like coming up to you, so you can give him that like won over look.
I mean, and maybe Emily got really into this because she's blind on one eye, but
no, but is this so true?
No,
like, imagine how many
true.
times at a bar a guy has like just tapped you on your shoulder and be like, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" And you're like, "Ew, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Go away."
No, because
versus you're across the bar, he makes eye contact with you. It's almost like you allow him to come over that way.
Okay, I mean, everybody likes confidence. Guys, girls, like you like a confident person.
Yeah.
Typically, let's say.
Right.
If a man is walking to you like head on, that shows confidence, dominance. Also, you got a nice look at him from head to toe. You get to like see everything about him. And there's like something so sexy about that versus like when a guy comes from the side.
Sneaky.
Yeah, when he comes in a little sneaky on the side, like a little snake. First of all, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Second of all, I didn't see you there. What's up, pal? Like,
oh, shit.
Yeah.
Jump scare.
Like it's not attractive to come in from the side. But on the flip side, like women do.
Yeah.
So if we're going to approach a guy, like we're kind of coming in on the side because we're trying to be like cute and cool and like, oh, I don't really care if you notice me or
More
not, but like
subtle.
I'm here.
Right.
So like you're going to make the eye contact from across the bar first. You're, you know, you're going to do like little things to get closer to him, but you're not just going to approach him.
Yeah,
like
because as a man, having a woman approach you directly like that with no little like, you know, oh, hi cutesy, like whatever, that shit is intimidating. And like as sexy as it is for a woman, for a man to do that to you, they get a little bit overwhelmed and like intimidated by that type of behavior.
So the next thing that we would have is mirroring. So for this specifically, women are more likely to also like mirror their friends versus a male, which I'd be finding a lie, because if you be driving around Nashville, every group of men dress exactly the motherfucking same.
Dress the same, say the same fucking phrase. I'm telling you, go to if you could be a fly on the wall in a group of dudes, not one unique phrase will come out. It's like carbon copies of what they say over and over.
So I'm not sure where this fact came from, but
probably from men.
100%.
But I definitely see it for like friends, like specifically for both men and women. Like you're probably, once you start hanging out with somebody, you're gonna start saying the same like phrases. You're gonna kind of not dressing the exact same, but like similar like aesthetic maybe. Like maybe if you are part of a friend group and like everybody when they go out does full glam makeup, you're probably also going to do full glam makeup. It's just like little things like that. Yeah. But specifically in like an intimate fashion, like there's some weird things that we do subconsciously that we don't even realize.
So mirroring is basically a nonverbal way of showing your empathy towards somebody.
Yeah.
So friendship, but specifically in relationships, it's like a very empathy driven type thing to do.
Right.
But also it's like a better way to understand others and connect with them is like being able to mirror them. Right. So if you're like mirroring somebody, it kind of shows it like you're listening to them. It's kind of like a sign of respect.
Definitely. It's almost like you're matching, like the way Gen Z would say, it's like you're matching their vibe. Like our vibes are matched because like we're on the same level. We're doing the same thing. We're like, we both understand what's going on type shit. Yeah. And that's what like mirroring is. But in a very basic term, it's like if somebody in the room yawns and you see them yawn, and even just saying the word yawn makes you want to yawn. And so like I'm waiting for myself to yawn right now, but I don't know if I can yawn. I'm trying to make it, but I can't.
No, I literally just had to swallow spit, so I didn't yawn.
But laughter is the same thing.
Literally, so actually, even mirroring is like your brain starts to prepare like muscles in your muscles in like your face for different expressions. So like if someone's yawning, your brain is preparing you to yawn. If someone's laughing, your brain is preparing like the muscles in your face to start laughing. Like legitimately, like it's in your brain.
It's fucking creepy. And yesterday we were talking about how like on sitcoms there's like laugh tracks.
Yes.
Because like sometimes the jokes really don't be hitting, but for some reason your ass is laughing still, and it's like just because you hear laughter.
So if you start to hear more laugh tracks during the podcast, just know we got you, bitch.
Yeah, so if you're on a date and like none of your jokes are landing, just start laughing at your own jokes and they'll start laughing.
They're gonna think you're hilarious.
Yeah.
That's what we've learned from all of this. But yeah, other things that like we did see was like crossing your legs when somebody else does, like you're gonna also cross them. Yawning. I even would say like things that you say, like phrases that you say, and I've been experiencing this a lot recently.
Yeah.
Like phrases that you say and then they start to say the phrases and you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like that's not something you would have said before. So like,
you know something I just thought of? Do you crack your knuckles?
yes.
When somebody like cracking my knuckles,
why'd you just do that? Because now I'm gonna feel like I have to do it.
It makes you like, it literally is a feeling in your body that you're like, now I need to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so fucking weird.
Other things would be like walking with the same leg, like out in front
Yeah.
first. Like you like try to like mimic their pattern of walking. And then the last thing we kind of found for this, like mirroring, was like leaning.
Yeah. And this
Which
one
is
was interesting because, I mean, obviously when you're interested in what somebody's saying, you kind of lean forward because it's almost like a sign of like excitement because you're like, oh, tell me more. But we definitely realize like whenever a guy does something or says something that you're like, ew, like your body will actively like move back.
Yes.
You're like, what?
Yeah. But if they're funny, it's like, Joey, you're great.
Yeah.
And, like you kind of like hit them a little bit and like lean in towards it. Like it's a whole thing, which we literally learned this about ourselves yesterday. And we were like, ooh.
Everything that we do now is cringe because of knowing all of this. #science.
Right. So the next thing is going into touching. So not all touches mean the exact same thing. So some are more likely to be touches of like intimacy versus touches of friendship.
Yeah. And so a good example of this that we kind of came across was like, think about like a work setting. If somebody goes to shake your hand, that's not an intimate way of touching. So like your hand is a perfect example of like a part on your body that like if somebody's touching your hand, it's hard to tell, especially on a date, like, what does this mean? Because society sets that up as like almost like a interaction that's everybody has.
Right. It's a very platonic like interaction from touch, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the whole purpose of this like little segment right here is it's about like the importance of where they touch you versus how they touch you.
Yeah, distinguishing the different touches.
Yeah. So basically we also found like your body is like a map for touch.
Yeah.
Right. So like you were saying, like if you're at a business dinner, or you're at work, like and you're shaking hands, like that is like the most platonic.
Right. It's not weird. Like that's not creepy. But you know what is creepy? Touching the bicep, man.
Bro, and I've been saying this forever.
Yeah.
I've been saying, like, if a guy likes you, he's going to touch your bicep.
Like your upper arm.
Yes.
It's like past the elbow to the shoulder is a very much a zone that, like, first of all, your coworker should not be touching you there.
No.
But if a guy and you're, like, on a date with, and maybe you can't read him, you're like, I don't know, but he touches you there, you know.
Yes.
He's attracted to you.
Yes. If he, like, grabs you, not in, like, obviously
an aggressive way.
Yeah. But if he like kind of like raises your arm or touches your arm and it's on your bicep or your shoulder or that like general area, he's into you.
Yeah, definitely.
If he touches your forearm, it
a
really
little
depends on the touch there.
A little higher than the hand, but honestly, it's not that. Maybe, you know what I feel like this would be a good example is like probably on like a first date, they're not going to touch your upper arm. But that forearm area, maybe they feel like is appropriate. Like, okay, I like you, but I don't want to come off too strong.
Right.
That's an okay touch.
Right. So the arms definitely different like positions of where they should be. And now the back is also like a whole different game of this like body map for touch, right? So if you're touching the upper back, that actually means nothing. It's like the opposite
of the arm.
Yeah.
So like the arm is like your fingertip to your shoulder, the higher you go up your arm, the more sexual and intimate it is. But the back's the opposite. So from like the nape of your neck to your upper butt is downward, the more intimate it gets. Yes. Which obviously, like, the closer you get to the booty, the more intimate. Yeah, you know what I mean?
But like, okay, so as women, like, we're always like, why do guys have to move you out of the way, like using your hips, right? But then you also notice like some guys are like, oh, they're respectful. They tap me on my shoulder, have me move.
It's not even that they're respectful. It's like they think you're kind of ugly.
Yes. It's actually rude as fuck. So please touch my hips, bitch.
Yeah. So we were basically reading yesterday is like, if a guy in a public setting is like, perfect is just at a bar. That's the only thing I can really think of, or a concert, a crowded venue. if a guy is like saying excuse me and he touches above the middle of your back,
it's like
he is either thinks you're ugly or probably has a girlfriend, and so he's not looking at women that way.
Right. It's a very like respectful, like, excuse me, move. Versus if it kind of goes lower back to butt area, it's like
he thinks you're hot.
He thinks you're hot. He finds you attractive. And he doesn't even probably realize that he's doing it to like, he really is moving you out of the way at the end of the day. Like both
but subconsciously.
But like something in their brain is
yeah.
like, it's a different movement.
It means different.
It means different. He saw you and he was like, damn, she's hot. I'm going to move her down here.
This way.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a little creepy at the bar, but also if he's hot, take it as a compliment, sis.
Right.
Because
and I mean, females do this too, which is why we kept this like very in like a general area. I think it's less common for a female to move somebody by their hips than a male.
But we'll move them by their upper arm.
Facts.
Think about that. Think of how many guys you pass when they're ugly. I just shoulder check that bitch. But like if they're hot, I almost like grab the back of their arm, get their attention, look up at them.
Say it.
Yeah.
I've been saying like, oh, excuse me. Like the upper arm. I should have wrote a book about
like
this.
I'm not gonna like slowly caress the lower back of a man to move out of the way, but I will grab their upper arm.
You're right. So the back may be more of like a male thing, where the arm is more of a girl thing.
Probably, yeah.
But anyway, so going into specific male body signals and cues.
This one fucked me up. This first one fucked me up.
So the first one we have is nodding as they're talking.
Yes, and this is gonna fuck us up so hard because now that you know this, you are going to be overthinking every single time that you nod your head as women.
I'm nodding my head right now to you.
Yeah, we'll get into the
women
women's later, but for a man, nodding their head is not the same as them agreeing with you. So if you are talking and a guy is continually nodding their head while you're talking, it's not necessarily that they agree with what you're saying. It's a sign that they're listening to what you're saying and they're hearing what you're saying.
They're engaged in the conversation and they want the conversation to continue.
Exactly.
So like if you aren't getting anything and you're not even getting a head nod, bitch, just shut the fuck up.
You've been talking
and honestly,
way too
this
long.
is something that I needed to have learned a long time ago because I am fucking Miss Chatty Cathy over
Girl,
here.
same. Like, and also like, it's not even that I like gave them an opportunity to speak. It's like I just keep talking because I'm like, you're not talking, so I'm just gonna fill the void.
Yep.
They stop nodding. They're fucking zoned the fuck out and are wishing this day would end. And I'm just like,
I'm like, I carried that.
Exactly.
No, bitch, he was gone 20 fucking minutes ago.
He could not care less what you were saying.
Yeah, exactly. Which I thought that was really interesting. And I think that's an easy thing to be able to pick up on versus like your nostrils or your pupils, right?
Yeah.
Like, nodding is like, you could
be pretty drunk and still notice nodding.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so the next thing is that he turns his torso towards you. And like that means like when you're speaking to him, he literally adjusts his entire body position to speak to you versus just a head turn. Because if you've ever noticed, and when Emily told me about this yesterday, I was like, yes. Because even like if you're at the bar, it's like the only thing we keep bringing up. But if you're at the bar and he's like sitting on a bar stool and you're talking to him, he will he'll stand up if he has to.
Knees towards you, yeah.
He'll stand up if he has to. Like he doesn't care. Yeah. Versus like if he's
not going to face it and look at you.
Yes. Versus if you're a friend or a platonic or he doesn't find you interesting at all, it's just a head turn.
Exactly. And you know what I was thinking about with this one, and this goes into the next point, but like the torso thing is like if you're in a group of people and you're standing up, the guy, if I'm the woman talking and a guy is attracted to you, he's not just gonna like look at you. He will physically turn even if it's a group of people, he's going to turn his chest directly towards you.
Yeah, and like you said, this goes into the next point of their toes legitimately will point at the person that they're most interested in.
Yeah. So like you could be in a group of like 6 people and you and this guy are not even talking, but look at the fucking feet. And if their feet are pointed towards you.
Not me today at the gym while we're like in the circle. So we always have a circle before we like actually start the workout and like always explaining.
Like,
I'm gonna be looking at everybody's fucking toes.
It's like spin the bottle with no bottle.
Yeah, literally.
You're like, when's it landing on me?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, ooh, I didn't see that one coming, but
what if you get in there and nobody's toes are pointed at you? Will you be a little upset? I would be upset.
I'm gonna be a little upset.
I'm gonna be like, bitch, what? Or it's like the most just fucking smashed looking dudes. Those are pointing at you, and you're like,
the only thing is about this now is I've been around these people for several months. Yeah. So this might not be a great indicator now.
Right.
Because it's not a new thing.
But yeah, maybe if you're like doing like a party or something and like you're talking with a group, look at the fucking toes and see where they're pointed.
Because also if they're not attracted to you, we found like it would be pointed towards like the door.
Yeah.
No area in particular.
Yeah.
Like it's either their toes are going to be pointed towards a person or
nothing.
Or like no man's in. Like nothing is over there. Yeah. Like whatever.
Or if you have a crush and you're in a group and their toes are pointed at some other bitch, sorry girl.
You ain't it.
It's not you, sissy. It's not you, sis.
Not you, sissy.
Did I say that?
It's not you, sissy.
God damn. God damn.
Okay, and so the last part for males is basically like if he's wanting to touch you, like so this is like very like we are on a date or like it's a very like sexual setting or but like you really cannot like you're at your aunt's house for Thanksgiving,
right? Like
he can't do nothing yet.
He can't be like putting his arms all over you type shit.
He can't be like slipping his fingers up your dress at grandma's dinner. Like no.
So, wrong place.
Maybe the right time, but wrong place. So in this instant, he's going to kind of like start doing things with his hands or playing with objects of like ways that he would want to essentially like touch you. Yeah. Or so if he's like basically circling his fingers around the rim of a wine glass. Mm-hmm. What would that be?
What would what be?
He's like,
yeah, no, like if he's playing with other objects like in his line of sight, like a wine glass, like
because my thing is that our example was literally like they're rimming like the wine glass, but like what would that specifically be?
I feel like for me, if I saw a guy doing that, I would think like you would be doing that like on my forearm or something.
Okay, like just like
like light touching like that you could do on a date if it's just you two and it wouldn't be weird. Okay. But like if you're at fucking Grandma Joe's like Thanksgiving potluck, probably the wrong time to be fucking pulling that move. Yeah. So I'm gonna rim the fucking Solo cup, and then I might lick your rim later. Who knows? You never know at Grandma Joe's.
I mean, shit could get spicy there. I mean, my family can get pretty spicy, but I just feel like it's not the place.
Wrong fucking place.
So if you are like noticing him kind of like fidgeting with things and it's like a motion that would be like kind of sexual.
Yeah. Like
or something that he would do to you, he probably wants to do that to you.
Yeah. Or is thinking about it at least. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so females, this is what got us all the way fucked up yesterday. Like we had like an epiphany while this was happening. You're literally doing it right now. So this is going back to the nodding thing. So men nod when they're listening, when they're engaged, when they care about what you're saying. Women nod when we agree with what you're saying.
Yes.
And so as we were doing this yesterday and prepping this episode, me and Kellen were like stuck in like a nodding like
the entire time. We were like
Matrix.
I needed to have like a neck brace on so I would stop nodding because we really noticed it then, and like we're even doing this whole episode we're like like reassuring each other like the points that we're making, and it's just nothing could be more true. Nothing could be more true. I could not be paying attention to you one bit. I'm still nodding,
right?
Always.
Yeah. But it's only on things that require like some sort of positive reinforcement. That's when we nod. It's not necessarily that we agree with you, but like, no, it is that we agree with you. It's not that we're interested.
No, it's not that we're listening either. Yeah, I could, like I'm saying, I could be completely zoned out to what you're saying, and I didn't listen to a fucking word you said, but I nodded the whole time.
But if it requires the response, yes, you're gonna nod.
Exactly.
Yeah.
1000%. And that is kind of got us fucked up yesterday.
It did. And it still has me fucked up right now.
Yes.
I mean, I'm stumbling over my words trying to talk because I keep nodding.
Yes, I know. Honestly, this entire episode, I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Not that even, it's just like, little things that now you're picking up on that you just do as a human.
Yeah.
And it's just it's crazy. So the next thing we have for females is our posture. Basically, if you're really attracted to somebody, you're going to be more like straight posture, shoulders high, like look very confident.
Yeah, a little more open of a posture.
Exactly.
Because typically, like I said earlier, like women take up we like to take up a small amount of space because I think societally we've been taught that makes us seem more like small and skinny and petite and cute, whereas men take up a lot of space because they want to like emit dominant energy and whatever. But when you're with a guy, if you're actually like vibing with them and find them attractive, like you're gonna find yourself like popping your boobies out a little bit more, pulling those shoulders back, like looking a little bit more confident, because it's just like a subconscious thing that we do. I mean, I feel like I even do this in like areas where I want people to take me more seriously.
Yes.
Like a job interview, whatever. It's not even an attraction thing. It's like, I want you to just see me. Like, look at me.
Well, even so, like, not to even like pat Emily and I back, but like when we went out like 3 weeks ago, we were down on Broadway, and like we were just like, it was just our confidence. Because like we kept getting complimented by so many guys of like how beautiful we were. And like, okay, we know that we're very pretty women, but like, let me tell you, we had jeans and crop tops on. We weren't anything special that night.
We looked like literally like that sound. Like, she looks like every other bitch.
We looked like every other bitch. But I think the difference was our confidence was like, because we were like, we felt hot, we felt sexy. Yeah. So like that really just showed. And like that, people gets positive attention from specifically males too.
Definitely.
So like that whole night.
You know what's so true? We actually got more compliments from dudes that night. And I feel like normally we get a lot more compliments from women.
Yes.
But that night we didn't.
No, it was all men.
So do you think women compliment you when you look a little more insecure?
Maybe.
Because you know what? I'm never complimenting the hottest mofo at the bar.
You're right. No, because I'm also like, bitch, you look hot. Like, you don't need stand up, have fun.
Yeah. It's always like, we're always like hyping up the girl that's kind of like a little shy. Where it's like, we see your potential, but you're not fully unlocked.
Yes.
But you're never complimenting the bitch who's walking out there like they're fucking Scarlett Johansson. You know what I mean?
Facts. And we were Scarlett Johansson that night.
We were. Damn.
Yeah. So it does make sense. And not even patting ourselves on the back. It's just like,
no,
that night we just like went out and we were like, we were hot. Like, there's no person hotter than us in here. Which very wrong. But like, it works.
Yeah, it does.
It literally works. So next time you go out, fix your posture, bitch.
Yeah. Stand up straight, motherfucker.
So another thing that females do is that instead of like moving our torso or our entire body,
I hate this.
Like, we'll glance over the shoulder because that's sexy. We'll turn our head a little bit and like, raise the shoulder. We like talk with our shoulders apparently when we're into men.
Yeah, definitely. Ugh. And like, it's like that classic, like when a guy compliments you and you feel kind of like, I don't know, I feel like bashful is the word, where you're like, like I literally will lift my shoulder, like just show the biggest double chin I'm rocking with. And like, you know what I mean? Like
it's literally smashes cute. My entire face into the shoulder. It's
literally not cute, but we do it.
There has not been one time I've taken a picture like that I've been like, oh wow, you're cute. Never.
No, my arm
never, not once.
My arm literally looks like a chicken leg, and my chin and my shoulder are connected. There's some extra cushion right here that looks like a neck brace, but it's actually just my double chin. But not cute.
But why do I do that? I'm like,
I don't
sex.
know. I'm like,
I'm like, this is a definition.
Everybody wants me.
Sex. Yeah. Not confident, bitch.
No.
Put those shoulders up. Don't be doing that. Because that is one thing that for myself now, I'm going to be so aware of.
Oh, same. Like every time I do that, I feel like the moment I do it, I'm going to be like, oh, shouldn't have done that.
Nope. Taking that one back. So another thing that females do if they're like really interested in a male or like in a counterpart is we like kind of like stroke our knee, our leg.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of are just,
you're like touching your leg and like, you know exactly what you're doing when you do this, whether you do or not. Like in your mind, it's something that you're doing to yourself because you want to do it to them, but you're like, I don't know if this is the place. I don't. Kind of same energy with the glass thing with the guys. Like he's like touching the glass. You're kind of doing that with your own knee because it's like you want to do it to their knee, but you're like, I don't know if I should. Whatever.
Right.
A guy, I feel like 9 times out of 10 is gonna notice that you're gonna do this or that you are doing this, and they'll kind of like touch your leg or some shit. But it's definitely something that you do when you're attracted to somebody.
Oh yeah, and like you said, I really don't think that I've ever done it on purpose to be like touch my leg, but like you do kind of like your hands start like going there because like he's gonna like hold your hand or he's gonna stroke your leg.
Yeah.
But that also kind of goes into like when you're sitting on a date and he can see your leg. And you cross your leg in a way so that it's more exposed to that person. And now this isn't even just on a date. I feel like you just do this in general to people.
Yeah.
Women will expose their leg more.
Yeah, it's like the leg that's facing that person, you're more likely to cross because it is going to expose more of your thigh. And this is like a fucking crazy thing because it's literally not on purpose. Like none of this is on purpose, but like you do it. And like now I'm like thinking back to every time I've ever done that and I'm like, holy shit, it's always that leg.
Every time.
Yeah, it's always that leg.
And it's literally, and that's even goes for friends. Like not even just an attractiveness.
No.
But like I would say it's more like the comfortability level of that person is if you're going to, because that's essentially a more vulnerable thing. Like I'm showing a different part of myself to you, right? So like.
Yeah.
So keeping on theme with the thighs and the hips.
Yeah.
Or what, you know.
I like the way she rock her hips.
Because when she walks away from you and there's a high chance that she's swaying those hips.
She wants to fuck.
She wants to fuck. If she's trying to like accentuate like the fullness of her butt, that's not on accident.
No.
If you notice in that moment that she got a dumpy, not on accident.
Yeah.
We're doing it on purpose. And you know what? I've caught myself doing this so many times and I'm like, why are you doing this? Right? Like I'm mad at myself.
Dude, the amount of times I've done this in a public setting, like as I feel like the prime example of this is like you're on a date and you get up to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
And you're like, I know he's going to be watching me, so I'm about to strut like I'm a fucking model to the bathroom right now.
Fucking Kylie Jenner. No, is it Kendall?
Kendall
Jenner.
Probably more like Kylie because we're trying to show off our ass. But like,
she actually got a booty.
Yeah, we're rocking the hips. We're like, and every single girl knows exactly, like your back is probably arched a little bit more than normal. Your shoulders are pulled back and you are literally putting an emphasis on the down step. So your ass is looking big.
Like jiggles a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can feel that bitch.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. And you're like, he fucking wants to eat this.
And you know what's so crazy is like, I know if somebody was recording me, it would not look.
It wouldn't be cute.
It would not look cute. And it would probably be like, what the fuck
But every
are you
girl
doing?
does it.
Yeah.
You see it even when you're out to dinner with a friend and like a girl walks away. Like literally.
Oh my gosh. Or at the bar where it's like, you're with a group of your girls and like one of your girls be walking like that. I'm like, she's trying to get fucked tonight.
Like what's up in your ass, bitch?
Nothing yet, but maybe later.
But she's indicating she wants it in there later. So the last thing this also goes back to, you know, Emily's unscented deodorant.
Yeah.
So maybe this is why it's working more for you recently.
Maybe. And you know what? This really goes back to that one episode when we talked about weird fetishes. Armpit fetish.
Okay, well,
now
listen,
it makes sense.
So, girls, you do not, and also guys, listen up. We're not tossing our hair to be like cute, whatever. Like, I'm not playing with my hair, twirling it, doing all of that because like you make me nervous and I'm trying to attract you. Well, maybe I just don't realize I'm purposely doing it. Really, it's so that we can expose our armpits to release hormones of sex.
Yeah, it's
literal sex hormones.
Yeah, so I guess your sex hormone. You would think would be stored in your vajayjay, but apparently it's stored in your armpit. So
if his nostrils be flaring as your armpits be up, bitch, he's really whiffing them in.
He's trying to fuck right now.
And so are you, bitch.
Yeah. Don't even lie. Yeah, but like your armpit apparently stores those sex pheromones. And so subconsciously, women on dates specifically be tossing their hair back. I do this so often, I'm ashamed.
Yes. Also, we were talking about this and I was like, first of all, ick.
Yeah.
Ick on myself. Red motherfucking flag. Yeah. Stop it there. Pump the brakes. But then I also was like, you know, it's actually crazy that our body is made up this way and we do these things. We don't even realize we're doing them. And then our body like releases a sex hormone as we do it. Like,
right.
I think that's so mind blowing. And no, I'm not high right now. I think it's so fucking mind blowing that like literally our bodies are chemically made up this way to do that. Like his nostrils are meant to flare as we fucking
to absorb
expose
your sex
our armpits.
Pheromones.
Like what the fuck? Like what sick fuck made this? Sorry, Jesus, but
yeah. Okay. Talk about wait till marriage. If so, why sex pheromones in the pits?
Why are they in the armpits?
Yeah.
You're really trying to play us.
Maybe that's why they invented scented deodorant to block that shit.
And you have the unscented, and that's why you've been getting a lot of dick recently.
The power is unlocked.
Bitch, I'm getting unscented deodorant this weekend. Bitches trying to fuck.
Everybody starts rubbing onions on their armpits to increase the sex pheromone.
I mean, do what you gotta do, sister.
Smelling like Shrek in this bitch.
But like, listen, he still had a girl.
Dude, maybe that's why Fiona.
Oh
DTF.
my gosh. Okay, so there's this one girl that I'm around a decent amount, and she smells like total asshole all the time. But she has a boyfriend. So how does it make me feel? I take showers. I can't get a man to save my life.
Well,
not that I couldn't. It's just I don't want to, really. It's kind of what it comes down to. But, like, still, this motherfucker smell like she clears the area that she sits in out.
Yeah.
Nobody be around this bitch.
She be pumping those pheromones into overdrive.
Yeah, her pheromones out here fucking kicking, and her man clearly loves them.
He said, you guys walk into the gym and you smell shit, but she walks home and he smells sex.
He smells sex.
Straight sex.
So I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
All I've learned here is that I'm doing it wrong.
Get the unscented shit because that should be working.
That should be where it's at. Okay, so this is some other general facts that we found that don't really necessarily fit into a specific category, but we all do it and we don't necessarily know we're doing it, or you only recognize it in other people.
Right.
So when you're talking to somebody that you like sexually,
I hate
you
this.
change the tone of your voice.
Yeah.
Men and women have 5 different like tones in their voice,
and like each one is associated with a different like relationship level, basically.
Yes.
Like the way you talk to your parents is going to be different than the way that you talk to your friends, your boss, your coworkers, your boyfriend,
a
like
lover,
whatever.
a dog.
Yeah, like it's all different. And you know what's so funny about this is my friends, especially specifically my roommates, because like they lived with me, so they would see how I was around guys more often than just like any of my friends. They would always tell me that they're like, you laugh differently around like a guy than when you're with us. And I'm like, ew. That's so true though. Like
and
literally
it's true. For me too.
Like it's not even like my laugh type is different. It's like the pitch of it is different.
Me too. And like I think it's actually more cringy when I'm around a guy.
Oh, it's like so pick me behavior.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, 100%. But listen, you don't even realize you're doing it, and you can't really control it. But we all do it. Yeah, and I think that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So another thing is like if you are asking a lot of questions, or a lot of questions are getting asked towards you.
Yeah. It's obviously, I feel like that always feels good when somebody's like,
well, yeah, wanting. I mean, that just shows interest regardless.
Yeah,
so it doesn't mean that they're not sexually attracted. It's just interest, and that's a nice thing.
They want you to keep talking, essentially.
Stalking social media, duh.
Yeah, like we talked about this in last week's episode. Like, if he's going through like your photos and liking them, like, yeah, he's literally.
If you go to my Instagram and then go to like my search, and you can see all the people that like just stay there.
Yeah,
embarrassing.
Yeah,
like
same,
highly embarrassing.
Yeah. Or what is it like on the when you look at somebody's story, but it's like the same first like 6 people that will pop up? Isn't that the ones that you look at the most?
Yeah, I've heard that, but I don't know how true it is. Because like Instagram, I don't think is ever confirmed.
I think it's true for
what
I look at. Not that they look at me the most, it's what I look at them the most.
Yes, because like if you're like trying to see if that guy that you've been stalking for a little bit saw your story,
it's
he's
like the
right
same,
there, bitch.
Yeah, it's like the same.
You don't gotta scroll far.
You'll know. If
yeah,
he's
you'll
not
know.
There, he
you'll
doesn't
know.
Care.
Okay, so the next thing is if you get a little disappointed when you don't see them.
Yeah, and
so if you're denying your feelings, but you got a little upset you didn't see them.
like if you're having this like boss ass bitch mentality, which as you should, but like if they cancel on you and it kind of upsets you, that's like your body telling you that like you are attracted and you're like let down by that.
Yeah, or even like I would even say like say it's a work oh my gosh, a work crush.
Yeah.
You're at work, like, and now it's like a very hybrid environment, and they're not there that day, and you kind of expected to see them.
You're like let down.
You curled your hair a little bit extra today.
Yeah. You put more mascara on than usual.
And like, you're never going to admit it, but like internally, you're just like, damn.
Your body knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your body does know.
They were prepping those sex pheromones, dude. You made them work into overdrive for nothing.
Rude as shit. So if you mention them to your friends a lot, so this is something that my mom I know knows about me. If I start talking about a guy a lot, like, and I make every scenario that might have been like 50 seconds into like this long story, she knows I'm interested,
right?
And like called the fuck out,
right?
And that's how my first like serious boyfriend, she like knew I was gonna date him because she's like, she's like, you talked about him all of the time. And like, I didn't even know it.
Exactly. Because like, you like consciously, you're not realizing, you're not trying to include every story of your life about him, but like you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't mean to be annoying, but
yeah, sorry.
I'm that bitch right now. Sorry.
Yeah. Definitely.
So if you change your schedule slightly to run into them. So this isn't like you're fully making like plans or like you're altering your entire life to make room for them in your life. It's like you kind of in college or like in high school when you walk down that hallway or you walk down that road,
you're gonna
like,
take
you'll pass
alternate path that may take you a little bit longer, but like the chance is there that you're gonna run into them because like their class lets out in this building, and even though you need to be on the other side of campus, you're still gonna walk the long way.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000. I mean,
did that so
guilty.
often.
Guilty.
Not even with people that I really knew. It's
and
just
you know
like
what? As you
that
walk
had,
by, you either act like you're
on your phone
or now that I know, you like kind of like flip your hair a little bit. Like you like fix your hair. You're always like doing something to have your armpits exposed.
I'm gonna be carrying like a mini fan around with my like holding my armpit up, mini fan pumping that shit.
She said, "I need love this year, bitch."
Directly in their direction, just locking eye contact. What is it? Nodding head, locking eye contact, shoulder up, armpit up,
blinking,
boobs out.
Does all the things.
They're gonna be like, are you having a stroke right now?
Okay, so this next one, I am highly embarrassed about admitting.
I do this with people that I've met one time.
I know.
I do this with people I've never even
I
met.
do this with celebrities.
Yeah.
Imaginary conversations. And like to the point where like it is so in depth. And like, you know, okay, so if you're about to go on a date with a guy,
you play it out.
You already have like, you're in the shower, you're getting ready. You've already thought about things like that you're going to talk about. Like embarrassingly enough, like one of the last dates I went on, I knew that he liked the same reggae band that I did, and I have a tattoo.
You made sure to mention it.
Yeah, and I had a tattoo that is like their symbol. So I also made sure, very pick me behavior. I fucking hate that I'm even admitting this,
tattoo.
but I made sure like that it would like show, and then like in my mind, I already had this whole conversation like ready to go.
Like what? Wait, you
this
like
whole thing?
You like this band too? I never would have known that after creeping on you for 7 fucking hours. What? I didn't practice this conversation in my head 6 times.
But like it's true.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the only one. I'm just the only one outing myself about it.
No,
but,
I mean I've done it a million times. Or like you have one thing in common, so you lock onto that shit and make sure you're prepped.
Exactly.
Because you want to know everything about that when
but
they
also
ask you.
you want to like if it also involves you also want to get all of your thoughts and feelings out about it too.
Exactly.
So you like also prep it multiple times. Be like that detail.
Different ways.
Scoot that one to the side.
Yeah.
Actually, no, bring this one in.
Yeah.
Bring that one back. Like you like re-altering the PowerPoint. Like
yeah,
we got
definitely.
This. Okay, so getting annoyed when a third party enters like as you're with them.
Yeah.
I mean that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if somebody's interrupting you guys, like, you're going to get pissed for sure.
Yes. So another thing would be stupid things remind you of, like, one another. So whether it's, like, a meme.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikToks.
The amount of TikToks I'd be sending to, like, guys who I'm, like, crushing on. I'm like, oh, my God, this made me think of you. It's so embarrassing. But I do that all the time.
I know, me too.
Because I do it with friends, though, too. I'm like, oh, my God, this is, like, so your energy.
But I think it's different.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, but, like, when you're trying to, like,
I'm not trying to, like, sleep with you.
No, I would hope not. That'd be real awkward.
That would make this show really weird.
I mean, maybe really interesting. I don't know. We might have a whole different audience.
True,
but we're not doing it.
Maybe we'll clickbait this episode with that.
So you deny that you have a crush on them. That kind of goes back to I think like you talking about them a lot because like if you're talking about them a lot, but you're like denying it. Typically at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last little thing we got going on here is starting to think of this person while doing everyday tasks. So, like, you're washing dishes and this motherfucker's in your brain.
Ew.
I hate when that happens.
Same.
And you're kind of like, I wonder what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely don't care, but like
you do, you know what
like,
I mean?
I gotta know.
God, it sucks.
And this kind of starts to like have them creep into your dreams.
Yeah.
And basically when they're in your dreams, like this can show that there's like love between you two and this like current relationship, but doesn't mean that it's like an end all be all. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's someone that's been on your brain. They're gonna probably be in your dreams.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, that was a lot of stuff, guys. So I hope that you reconsidered your entire life and everything you've ever done. And
hopefully now you look back on all of your dates that have been failures and have some reasoning behind it instead of like, it probably was just me. And it's like, probably was.
I actually just didn't expose my armpits enough.
Yeah, but like, yeah, maybe you wore too much perfume that day.
Maybe he did nod his head. Yeah. And you talked too much.
No nodding. Eye contact was only in
no
the
dilated pupils.
Yeah. He just wasn't vibing. And maybe you weren't vibing either.
You know what? And that's some things.
Listen to your body.
Oh God. Listen to your body. But yeah, I mean, even so, if maybe you're not even on the date with him and you're trying to think of like, oh, does he like me? Does he not like me? Like we have good banter, but like it's not going further than this. Like maybe these are some signs you can kind of like
fall back on,
like hold like some little bit of hope.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Probably also if he's not saying anything, it's probably,
yeah, maybe leave.
But we're here to help.
Yeah.
We're just here to help. But anyway, that is another episode of Society 97. I'm Kellen. You can find me at Kellen Redkay on Instagram.
And I'm Emily. You can find me on Instagram at Starnsy. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Instagram as well. We are at society97.pod on Instagram. We're also on TikTok at society97pod on TikTok. And you can catch these videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Every Friday.
We also have YouTube vlogs every single Tuesday. So make sure you like and subscribe, turn on post notifications. Make sure to rate and review the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
And with that, we'll see you guys next Thursday. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.